When we ask God to provide for us, what are we expecting? I'm Christy Birchfield, and we're looking at the book of Jonah. We've been working our way through this book, and it's such an incredible story. There's an awful lot of kind of information that builds on one another, so if you've missed any of the previous sessions, please check out the link in the description below. It'll take you to the full playlist, because that will really tell the story of how we end up where we end up. Today, we're looking at just one verse, but it's probably one of the most known verses when it comes to the story of Jonah. It's Jonah chapter 1, verse 17. And it says, "The Lord provided a great fish to swallow Jonah, and he was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights." When you think about the story of Jonah, or when you ask people about the story of Jonah, they know he was swallowed by fish and was in the fish for 3 days and 3 nights. That's what they know. But the word that really stood out to me, some versions it says appointed, and some versions it says provided, where it talks about the Lord provided a great fish to swallow Jonah. And it made me think, how often do we actually pray and ask God to provide for us? Please help in this area. Please provide this for us. Provide that for us. We see in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus tells the people there that they shouldn't worry about anything because God provides for his children. Now, to be honest, I typically have an assumption of what God's provision would look like in my life. I know what I would expect God to be providing for me in my life. Here, we see very clearly that God provides for Jonah. But I bet he wasn't expecting a big fish to swallow him. That was God's provision. We need to take a few minutes and maybe rethink or revise what our assumptions are about God's provision for us in our lives. The Bible clearly says that God sent the fish to do just that, and he provided for Jonah. God provided for Jonah a way that he didn't expect, kept Jonah from drowning in the sea. But I'm very, very sure that that was not what Jonah would have thought or expected or even really wanted in that moment. You need to understand God is providing for you each and every day. Are we paying attention, and do we see and recognize his provision? Even when it doesn't look like what we expected it to. Thank God for his provision in our lives today. And look to see it where maybe it's not quite as apparent or obvious as what you would have thought it would be. God provides for you, and he provides for me each and every day. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.